Moorhead Police Chief David Ebinger is in the house with us today. He stopped on over at our invitation to talk about the topic that really the Moorhead City Council is really struggling with. You know, the council people, I don't think quite know which way to go on this. Chief, let's pick up where we left off before the break, and that's that. I get if you're trying to ban the substances themselves, the synthetic pot or the bath salts. I get that because that's the product that people are using. But when it comes to the vehicle that they use to smoke that or to smoke marijuana or whatever, that's where I kind of go, well, wait a second here, because you're taking away business, you know, for selling these pipes or certain kinds of pipes, and yet at the same time, even if you do get rid of them, people can still use a Coke can or an apple or a light bulb or whatever to smoke pot or to smoke these different substances. So why go after those pipes if you're not solving the problem necessarily, you're just taking away business from a business?
Well, part of it, and really it's twofold. One of the things that has not been clearly stated, and I understand that the hookah was brought up as an example yesterday, or day before yesterday. I don't think, and Matt Greenlee, the assistant county attorney who I've discussed this with, we don't see where this would be enforced upon a hookah. The primary use for that instrument is smoking tobacco. There's a cultural aspect to it. The bowl design is such that it would be inefficient for smoking marijuana. You'd have to use a lot of pot to put in a hookah. We are looking at the devices that are singularly used for ingestion, processing, storage of illegal drugs. An example of that would be a pizzle. It's a little glass pipe with a globe in it. You can't get tobacco in there. You can't get smoking herbs in there. You can put crystal methamphetamine or crack in there and heat it up and smoke it. We have bought undercover a pizzle where it was described as a meth pipe from one of the businesses involved on this. Openly selling that, you know, it sends a message, and I don't know. You hear a lot of pro and con on what was classified in the Nixon era as a war on drugs. I don't see it as a war. I see it as addressing an issue. We don't have a war on cancer, but because we still have people dying of cancer, do we stop what we're doing? For every pound of that stuff we take off the streets, for every young person we keep from seeing this as an acceptable behavior, and they don't get addicted, I think somebody's benefiting.
If you get rid of these pipes, if you're successful with your ordinance and it goes through in Moorhead, will drug use and drug users be less in Moorhead, Minnesota?
I think there'll be a reduced exposure to drug culture. Increased exposure can only be detrimental. You know, one of the owners, Brady Burdell of Mother's Music, we were discussing at a meeting we had on September 21st the fact that all we're asking is the exact same restrictions that the city of Fargo has in place that no one seems to object to. Brady, during the discussion, he has a business in Fargo, and he complies with what we're asking for. And he said, well, he doesn't sell these items there because he's too close to a school. I don't get the difference on why we can sell them in Moorhead, and it's a sacred protected right, but in the rest of the community that we're part of, nobody has a problem with these restrictions being in place.
We only have 45 seconds left, and I'm going to let you go so you can get back and do your day job, which is to be the police chief of Moorhead, not be on the radio. Are you worried at all about driving the businesses out of Moorhead? Because Moorhead, some of the owners have said they'll just pull up stakes and move someplace else.
I hope they wouldn't. I think you've got some creative people here. I think that the people that blow glass and sell these items of art would be able to sell just as many items for the prices they're selling them for when they're designed not to smoke through.
Okay.
I think that we've got people here that are good, and it's a good place to do business. We're going to do what we can do to keep it that way.
Okay. Chief, thank you. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for having the conversation. You're listening to the Mike McFeely Show on the Mighty 790 KFGO.